Alright guys, so we have our final. It's Lost Crowd 5 versus the 2Bs determined, and we had a pretty sick semi-final. We had a couple of like very, let's call them interesting semis. They were at least exciting. I mean, on both ends. Lost Crowd 5, first of all, on Infernal Shrines with the Kerrigan ban. I mean, of course, first of all, she shines on this map, but also TBD is kind of infamous for playing with her. We have Malfurion as a first pick, immediately locked down again, and ETC is banned out. It really seems at this point that TBD just hates ETC. And a lot of the teams agree that ETC is probably the strongest tank, if played well, in the game right now. Especially with the additions onto the stage dive being such a viable ult right now compared to a Mosh Pit 2. So at this point, Lost Crowd 5, let's see how they're going to start into the draft. Again, Infernal Shrines is a map where we have seen heroes like Gul'dan shine. Wave clear is fairly important here. You can use your global mobility on a false set, for example, as well. But oftentimes this is a map where we even see Kalthas coming back, for example. Naming a hero that you don't see all that often anymore in the current meta. He sometimes still makes an appearance. He's very solid either way. But I would expect a Muradin to be picked up for Lost Crowd 5. Would be shocking if they wouldn't pick him up. Maybe a Sylvanas. She is fairly strong here. They played with Sylvanas before on a few of the maps. I could see them trying to rely upon her again. If you get the Punisher, you can get a lot of power going to move through that. And yeah, so let's see how exactly they're going to start the draft off with. Because depending on what you see right now with the second pick, that's already kind of setting the pace a little bit. If it's an early Sylvanas, you can already know what exactly they are going to try and achieve here. But you can start that also with, for example, a healer. They've been very focused on a Brightwing. You can start this with a Vala, who gets, of course, the value of having the wave clear as well. Again, as mentioned before, having a Gul'dan here is also kind of crazy. Both of the teams played with him. But they're opening things up with the Tassadar, and that already tells us quite a bit. They're very unlikely to play Tassadar as a solo tank. Solo healer. So they can play a Tassadar with any kind of melee assassin, have a bit of a higher focus on that. They have also a bit of decent vision. And what they do with it also is they are shutting down potential plays with Tassadar Tracer on the side of the beast. Which on this map is not the best thing, but it's still fairly annoying if you kill your opponent the entire time. Khaldor, thank you very much for the sub here. But yeah, so that entire Tassadar play shuts down a few of the things that TBD might do. Playing Tassadar on this map, playing Tassadar Tracer on this map can be very strong, but at the same time, you of course accept more or less that in the terms of the objective, you're going to take a little bit of a setback, at least at the start. But TBD is going for a different route. They go for the combo between the Malfurion and Vala. Now they have the cooldown reduction and the Innervate mana gain for Vala, where she can just spam out the multi-shot and therefore just gain minions during the objective. The bans coming in are once again very focused on melee on the side of Lost Crowd. They're banning out the Johanna here even. They already have their own Muradin, so they don't really need to go for any kind of frontliner. But it's kind of likely that TBD is at this point going to pick up the Tyrael. We have ETC ban, Johanna ban, Muradin taken. I mean, what else is left there? You're going to go for Tyrael, very likely. You could, I think, theoretically head into, I suppose, a Stitches, but yeah. TBD, on the other hand, is a bit of a crazy team. They are the Cho'Gall team. One of the Cho'Gall teams. I mean, Cho'Gall is more or less of a European specialty, I'd say, these days. If a team takes Cho'Gall, it's probably a European team. We all remember how My Insanity, Misfits, how they picked it back then at Sweden at the Global Championship. So for Lost Crowd, Brightwing plus Tassadar and the Greymane. All right. Going into the Greymane play here, so far nobody has locked down on the potential pick on Gul'dan, which we have seen on, I think, nearly every single Towers of Doom map, sorry, not Towers of Doom, Tomb of the Spider Queen game today, but it's just also very, very strong in Infernal Shrines. TBD have to show their frontliner now though, and I guess it is going to be the Tyrael pick here for them, at least that's what we would expect. You can go Chen, of course, too, which is a very strong hero as well, usually more so played as the second, but if they really want to go for that snowball style, which TBD likes to do, then a Tyrael would be strong. Throwing the Cho'Gall in there, we've seen that. I said it, they played it in the past. It's one of those things that did they originally play that? I don't really think it was originally them, but they were one of the teams that played it for the longest time. Moikero, cheers for the sub as well. With 80 RD, you basically never really know what you get. I mean, we could see a combo with even a Leoric, but I think it's a little bit less likely. It must, a bit more range damage would probably be a pretty smart move for them too. I mean, TBD was also the team... Call me... Alrighty, there we go. Cho'Gall time. Double trouble. Okay, guys, so I'm already happy, man, that we're starting into this grand final the same way we finished the semifinals, with a bit of a crazy draft that already promises a lot of fun. Yeah, count me in. I'm game. And yeah, what is Lost Crowd gonna do? Because they don't really have anything to deal with a Cho'Gall. Maybe go into one of these auto-attack heroes with a sweet giant killer. And a little bit of seasoned marksman. I mean, the talent got buffed. Might as well consider it. It's a very heavy engage comp, on the other hand, that we're seeing for TBD right now. Of Cho'Gall, oh, they go for the Zarya. Alright. That shields galore. That's basically like the never die comp that we're currently seeing for Lost Crowd. Zarya, Brightwing, Tacita, and Muradin. Alright. Yeah, that's basically triple shields that we have. I mean, I can see the appeal behind it. The thing is, like, if Greymane dies, they're dead. So, then they can't do anything anymore. So, TBD versus Lost Crowd. Let's go into Infernal Shrines and see how this is going to work out. So far, I'm actually liking TBD's chances. Maybe not necessarily in the early game, but starting mid-game after 10, and especially after 13, when Molten Core becomes a thing and Cho'Gall starts to become less killable, I feel this is going to become a very dangerous. So guys, let's jump in. Game number 1, the grand final. This is ZOTAC Cup Monthly final. We have Lost Crowd versus TBD on Infernal Shrines. Game number 1, everybody. It's the grand final of the ZOTAC Cup Monthly final. We have the 2Bs determined going up against Lost Crowd 5. And to the left side, it's Lichtalo on Muradin. We have Hydra on Tacita, Yellow Flash on Zarya. XD is currently playing Greymane with Kumiko and Brightwing. And yes, Mexi has a point there. I can show you that in a second. Bad Benny is on Cho. Blade is on Alarak. We're currently seeing Nick on Vala. We have ADRD on Gal and Smexi on Malfurion. And I've seen this particular bad boy already in action. It is Bad ADRD. One of the best Cho'Gall names ever, for sure. So let's see how good we don't really know what the bad stands for. It's either badass or it's just like really plain bad. And this game is most likely going to show us what exactly is the case there. So right now we have already a little bit of poke happening. Up to the top lane, you're seeing the setup with XD and Yellow Flash. There's Hydra. When we're talking talents at this point, once more we have Applied Force taken on level 1 for Alarak. You're actually seeing the Eye of Kilroth taken here, and we have the Surging Dash. So yeah, with the setup that we have at this point, let's find out how much Cho'Gall can actually do in this game. Right now it's just a rotation between the bottom and the mid that we're seeing from him. We have Zarya going into the maximum charge. It's, yeah, one of the talents that we often can see on level 1. Zarya is actually one of the heroes I feel that has a huge amount of talent diversity. At least going through scrims on the pro teams preparing for HGC, you see a lot of different ways how she's being played these days. There's a bit of a standard build, of course, for her, but overall, there's always options, and that's the one thing that you really have to supply. I think it's a little bit, yeah, you need to be... it's not really like, you know... The thing is, you can't really expect that every single talent is going to have the same amount of, or sees the same amount of play. But as long as you have viable options on heroes, that's, I feel, what you have to aim for. It's okay if there's like a standard build, but if depending on the map and the setup that you have, you occasionally deviate from that because others are more fitting, then I think this is really the spot that Blizzard has to aim for. So yeah, Bad ADRD is currently going for the rotation against Brightwing here. And at the same time, with the first objective now on the map, the teams are of course aiming for level 4, so we get a bit of a tactic here. We have already Cho'Gall straight here in the middle, doing his thing, and trying to go for the Surge here. Surging Fist can really be a great engage against that backline, and especially with also Alarak providing the combo, that can be pretty disruptive. So Tacita is of course going to provide a little bit of a power surge on level 7, so thanks to him going for the preload on the shields. But as you can see, we have the Rune Gauntlet already taken, so a little bit auto attack damage that we're seeing there. Punishment for the objective. The double back. this point now as well. So Nick, in this case, eating a ton of damage here. And that is really the hero that needs to be the most careful. Blade as well now, though. And Blade is really low. Zarya was actually thinking about a potential kill here. Bad ADRD, our Cho'Gall, is putting pressure on Brightwing. And Brightwing nearly got torn apart here. But the blue team is doing a very good job. Not only these team fights, but also getting the objective right now. Then again, to be absolutely honest, I mean, we've been talking about this already a bit as the game started. I kind of expect Shaw to get a little bit more value in this setup as the game progresses, since it's going to make him very difficult to kill. In the early game, I suppose this is really one of those moments where you have the best chances of taking him down. And with all those shield heroes that you have for the team in blue, they can of course also heavily rely on survivability. It's something that Fnatic has also tried during BlizzCon to mediocre extent. Oh, Lichterloh is down, and that is actually kill number 1. Kill number 1 in the game. So they lose the wall, but they get the kill here. And ADRD now starting to make his way still through those minions. Of course, Maxi at some point, he will probably have to go back quite a fair bit, since he's going to spam out those heals on on Cho'Gall. When we're talking about talents that we have for Zarya also, I am the strongest taken. So the personal barrier getting a little bit stronger. It's really all about the shields when we're looking at this right now. As you might have seen already, Brightwing is in this case going straight for a normal phase shift build. So trying to go for Hyper Shield, Peekaboo, Vision, and then the additional shield. So it's all about really shielding allies, having survivability there. And apparently the Bees are very confident they can break through this. They already had a pretty good look at what was happening during the draft and a bit of an idea of what they were going up against. So right now, this is happening. Lockdown attempt by Maxi, subbing in today for the Bees, in case you were wondering, where he's currently on the setup here. So he's not suddenly leaving Fnatic, don't worry about that. Yeah, Blade with a nice move here, very well done here. A gank against him, nearly successful, but he's able to dodge that, extremely well played by him. The Endless Energy picked up on 7, and we have the Power Surge now as well. So the engage potential for Cho'Gall. Hydra is a little bit low. There comes the combo against Zarya. But again, shields galore, a couple of heroes up here at the top, so not really a lot of danger. Losing one. Losing one at the bot lane is a little bit more likely though, since Kumiko is now getting moonfired into the ground, and not only that, Nick supplies the extra damage with his Hungering Arrow and is dropping now the creeps with another quick multi-shot. So far, so good for the team in... for both, actually. I mean, like, the first objective alone did a fair amount of damage to the wall, so that helped. But again, level 10 is definitely going to shift it around. I actually think that this particular shrine is even a little bit less likely to be taken, because already they're having a fair amount of strong talents picked up by the Lost Crowd 5. Since they are now available, able to rely on Colors and Rays, and they have the face shield. So the shields are there. And you can see that in the mid lane, we actually saw Vala picking up another wave before they go up to the top. But the massive lead in minions already here for the opponent. So right now, the wave is pushing through. Bad ADRT. Our Cho'Gall is trying to push them back, and they're actually starting to claim some control over the particular shrine. Oh, nice combo! Going up against Brightwing. Not able to secure the kill though, lacking a bit of damage in that moment. But they are attempting to get closer in the count on the minions. Brightwing coming back in with the shield. ADRD getting a little bit low together with Bad Benny here on the Cho'Gall up at the front line. Trying to see if they can put a bit of pressure onto especially Hydra, who's really low. Eats a lot of the shields right now, and that's a lot of cooldowns that they have to commit, a lot of resources they have to use to keep him alive there. 32 stacks at this point. And the Bees are still playing this rather passive and moving away. Sacrificing the Punisher. I actually think that at this point it was kind of inevitable. As I said, I really feel their time is when level 10, level 13, and that starts to really happen. Then they will be a lot more survivable. But they are going to lose quite a lot here. Let's not kid ourselves. This is most likely going to be a fort, and this is going to be level 10. They have to retreat here. They're dropping the damage as they can, trying to bait the Punisher in deep so that not too much is being lost here. Alarak even coming back. They're attempting to make a play here. They're going in, trying to go for the combo, but Blade misses. They are on the other hand pushing XD very far up to the top. Not quite getting on him though. Blade is also polymorph. Gets a heal. Pushes himself away, gets the combo off against 3, but falls either way. So the kill against Blade, it's the first one that we see for Lost Crowd 5. We have also Archon taken now on the side of Dazzler. It makes sense. Let's be honest here, you have a team that has basically more survivability than anything else. You have triple shield generators. and you need to somehow get the damage in and confirm kills. And going for Archon is one way to do it. Another talent that I really want to highlight, because I think it's an absolute beautiful choice and stresses again the versatility of builds, is that we have now Mark for the kill. And that is amazing if you think about it. You have a Cho'Gall that you somehow need to take down, and going for Mark for the kill is going to put a huge amount of pressure on Cho'Gall. So that's a very smart choice, and that can really make the life of Cho'Gall extremely difficult. I like it a lot. It's a really good pick. Of course, if you are not gonna, if you're trying to go for a quick one-shot against Vala, it might have been a little bit better to not, use Mark for the kill, but I think overall it's really the way to go. You need to hit it. Like in this case, that didn't really work out quite as intended, I suppose. But the damage out here with the poke is already happening. The fort is nearly down, but it's level 10 versus 10. And we have also now the Hammer of Twilight, and we're seeing the Twisted Nether. And they're going in, they try to get the kill, and look at Muradin. Muradin is down, nice combo. Smexy is falling though, it's a trade, 1-for-1. Cho'Gall, not quite sure if he should engage or not. Blade again with a bit of poke damage. Everybody is incredibly low, but with bad AD already eating this much damage, they decide to move back. So it's a trade in kills, but this is now the next objective happening here. So they're slowly and steadily starting to go for it. He should go back, and it's a bit late actually. Would have liked to see Cho'Gall move back a little bit sooner than that. If Yellow Flash could have used that a bit earlier, Pulse Grenade, then it would have really prevented them from heading back and giving them a bigger head start heading into the next objective here. So level 13 talents, still too far away for both of the teams, but this is really one of the moments when you are trying to make your play. You can really start to make a bit of an impression now. The late game is going to be much better, but it's going to be a lot better than this early on stage for the red team, for the 2Bs determined. Right now they're still poking a little bit, waiting for that engage, and for Blade to make a move. The combo doesn't hit anything. Very well dodged here on the side of the blue team, but Yellow Flash is eating a lot of damage on the Zarya, needs to be careful. The poke is still happening as Gal is just dropping those spells. Blade on full health again is looking for an opportunity and establish control over the shrine right now. As already predicted a bit earlier, this is the time when they are starting to make their plays. Again the attempt, not hitting. Twisted Nether use, bad ARD in trouble, is going back, heals aren't there anymore. A lot of poke from Nick in particular. But Cho'Gall is too low to make a play here. They could tap at the fountain here for now though, but they are starting to lose out on the Immortal again. But once more, these fights are getting closer and closer, as you can see. In experience, they're still on the same level. So it's all still absolutely alright for them as long as they don't start to lose keeps. And level 13 is going to provide them with Molten Core. And that talent, Molten Block. And that talent alone is already going to make a huge difference. Nice move there, quick cleanse on the side of Smexy, well done. Smexy himself is being pushed out, the Zarya ult is not allowing him to go back, and Vala is actually the first target to go down. So now all of a sudden baited between the fort and the keep, the Punisher is actually jumping the wall even. Well, they're trying to go through that, but that Punisher is also going on. Alarak on the other hand, up to the top, was eliminated by XD, by Lichterloh, and by Kumiko. So great job so far by Lost Crowd 5. Much better performance than what they showed in the semi-final, to be quite frank. Again, Cho'Gall will now start to really increase in strength, and we all know that. So it's really the late game that they were waiting for. When they were starting to draft this, I can guarantee you that the Bees were not really expecting to win that early game with flying colors or anything. They probably expected that it would be a bit of a rough ride, but now this is really the time when they have to start to make their plays. Level 13 talents are in, and this is really when you have to start to fight for one of those shrines. The problem is that they might be up against 19, and that is a bit... But they have now already... they did actually not go... Wow. I think this is one of the first times that I've ever seen a European Cho'Gall not go for the Molten Block. So right now we're having Surge of Stamina taken first of all. I mean, the resistance alone is actually like pretty cool. So I guess that's one way to play around it. I suppose that if you go for the Molten Block here and you're not up against a lot... I mean, you're not really up in this case against a lot of like burst damage. It's not like the opponent is playing like a Jaina or anything, is trying to go for a wombo combo style. So going for like Surge of Stamina here might be more the way to go. The Dread Shield on the other hand alone is already going to give them a huge boost. But as you can see here, the level 16 talent is going to become a big issue. And if 16 is picked up and they don't fight talent versus talent, they will have to give the punish up. I don't think they can actually contest it. If they lose the fight, the game would be more or less over, and the Shrine is activating in another 30 seconds, and there's just not enough time to pick up 1.5 levels. You could go and try for a trade though, but up to the top lane we're going to see a double camp pushing in. They're going to try and get a fort at the bot lane, or at least they should. But this is more or less playing with vision, what Lost Crowd 5 is now doing. It's actually kind of interesting and smart, because they took 2 camps, but at the same time they didn't show on map. So that actually suggested to the Bees that there would be an attack happening against them, and so they moved back. They were actually thinking about getting the fort here, but they didn't go for it because they expected an attack and a gank to happen, but then all of a sudden the camp at the top lane gets grabbed up and they didn't get the fort. Now they have to defend against this one. They are letting the Punisher go. So that was pretty much perfect play on the side of Lost Crowd 5. I'm not 100% certain if it was intentional or if they just said like, hey, let's grab the second camp too. But one way or another, that worked out very nicely for them. It was really well done. Also, we have Alpha Killer now. That's another big problem for Cho'Gall, as you might imagine. And yeah, with this, another Punisher is going to come into play. And after 16 is picked up by 2 Bs, they have to make a play. They need to force a fight, and they need to make sure that they are going to win it. Blade is having a bit of a rough time landing these combos. The previous games were much easier for him to get those off, but in this one, I don't think he even landed a single one that was easy. Well, I actually had 1 against 3. The problem was when he was retreating, and it was already certain that he would fall either way, so there was no follow-up for it. But this could very well threaten the keep right now. There's the jump in, Punisher goes in, they're trying to follow up, putting extra free damage on ADRD, goes extremely fast for the fountain, has to. 16 is still not there, that's an issue, and this keep will fall. Keep is definitely going to fall. The keep is going to fall. Let's see if they can actually follow up after they take the Punisher down. That's the bigger question right now, I feel. Yeah, Vala moving back. They're baiting it way deep here. ADRD low. Here comes the ult. Oh, but ADRD is down with Bad Benny. They both die. Muradin might fall as a counter kill, but I'm not quite sure if that's going to be enough. Very well done by Lost Crowd 5. They're playing an exceptionally good game here. 18 versus 16 in kills right now. Level 16 talent, where we now have the Twilight Whale. They're having quick mind taken on the side of Alarok. Yeah, Shadow Flare too. I mean, at this point, really, this is one of those moments where it is just super powerful to play with the Cho'Gall, but they lost Cho'Gall in the... It was the worst position possible. You just get level 16 talents. He's just about to really make some plays for them, and now they lose him. They have to force a fight once the Cho'Gall is back. I mean, it's still 2 levels until 20 is hit, so I suppose the next Punisher is going to decide on the game. But Lost Crowd 5 is doing very well here thus far. It's a very controlled game that they're playing, and I really feel that especially the Greymane choice on 10 combined with the Alpha Killer is currently pushing a lot of damage out there on Cho'Gall. When you're looking at the damage, you can already tell. He's able to get a lot of DPS in. 35,000 for him, 34 for Zarya. Cho'Gall himself is still on 56k, which is taking the top here. But yeah, they are trying to make their plays right now, and they need to force that fight, and they need to win it. And this is what they're looking for. They're really looking for that team fight right now to make a bit of a difference. The late game is theirs, but they lost the keep already, and the question is, did they lose too much just yet? Blade trying to see if he can maybe make something happen here, but top was deep pushed. There was nobody really here to follow something up against Hydra. And you're not just easily killing a Tassadar. That's not going to happen either way. Even with a quick silence in this moment, it's not going to be a thing. So bot lane is pushing pretty hard. So at this point, they need to take down these catapults. First of all, they will probably try and eliminate the camp that has been taken as well. They're already in the way. Mid lane, that's where we have the Punisher coming in, and they have to go for that now. So Shrine is activating in another 10. Still level 19 versus 17, so 16 talents, that's what we're talking at this point. Keep the heavy impact in mind here, of course. Also the Greater Polymorph, all designed to take a single target out, which is exactly what they need here. Vala, by the way, went for the Manticore, and we are going straight for the fight. They could very well decide to do. At least if the blue team takes it. Once more, they're going in. Twisted Nether, already activated. And there's the Polymorph. Oh, they're going for a Quill. There could be it. The silence is through. They can't confirm the kill against Muradin, though. But they're jumping on Blade right now. And the blue team. Oh, the kill. Well done. The blue team with perfect control here. After all, the start of the fight was looking actually very bad for them. It looked like they would lose their tank right away. But nope, they didn't. Turned it around quite nicely. This is just such a crazy combo. Like, it's so insane how much they can survive with all the shields that they are running here. And thanks to the Archon and also, of course, to XD with his particular build here. They have enough damage to threaten single targets, especially Cho'Gath. They are once again able to just all survive here. Like, even with all the damage that is being pushed out by Gal, by Alarak, and also, of course, by Vala herself, we are still seeing only 4 kills against the team in blue. This shield comp is working out perfectly for them. They have so many shields here. Let's look at the damage of Khaldor for just a moment. Khaldor is still not really, like, he's not winning any prizes here or anything, but he's on 20,000 damage, and that's not really too shabby. He adds a little bit during the fights. The splash that he has is also helping to pick up additional minions if the fight happens over Shrine. They're going in. Smaxy is low. Smaxy is very low. Blade is also starting to lose health, and just look at that core. They're right-clicking that thing into oblivion. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is Lost Crowd 5 taking game 1 of the 2Bs determined. Great play and deserved victory. Well done. GG. Blackheart's Bay is map number 2. It's not quite what I expected going into the second map, but yeah. Lost Crowd 5, they are ahead. They have just beaten TBD on the first map, Infernal Shrines, which is traditionally a rather good map for 2Bs determined. So, again, the ban on ETC. TBD did that a lot this tournament here. And let's see how Lost Crowd reacts. I mean, once again, they are most likely... so far, TBD has done the same thing in a lot of these drafts. They ban ETC and they pick Malfurion first. So Lost Crowd can now basically say, all right, we're going to give you Malfurion. Or they can just simply say, listen up, we're going to play this a little bit different. You can have Malfurion, we're going to take Muradin again, and we're going to buy something else. It's Blackheart's Bay on the other hand. So Blackheart's Bay is one of those maps where you can throw more than one curveball. We've seen Asmodan play here. You can do great things with Illidan. And overall, Lost Vikings have been played by the old Team Liquid, like frequently here. There's a lot of plays that you can actually do in these cases on a map like this. It's not really the most frequently played map or anything. So you can have a couple of strategies that are a little bit stranger.
Long-time viewer of your YouTube channel, first-time viewer of stream. Happy to continue supporting you on Patreon and here. Keep the amazing content coming.
Thanks, bro. It's very much appreciated, and thanks for that. Yeah, talking Patreon, I am still looking forward to the next Meta Madness, and I'm still hoping that the next one is going to be a North American one, but I'm still talking to the EU teams about it. But yeah, Tradrill, thank you very much. And I hope that you enjoy the live stream. If you usually watch on YouTube, that's probably like the first time. So yeah, enjoy the show. Dehaka is being banned out here now. Not really the ban that I necessarily expected, but it's not a bad one by any means. It's actually really annoying to play on this map against the Dehaka. But let's see how this is going to work out with the first pick. Is it again going to be the Malfurion? Or is TBD saying this time, okay, listen, we are going to change things up a little bit. Especially considering the map. I mean, right now, could theoretically, I suppose... Again, on this map, it's really cool to play PvE. You can really just play the objective and nothing else. And yeah, TBD is actually waiting a long time for that pick. They're running down that time pool on the first pick already. I mean, usually you would in this setup already have a bit of an idea of what you want to do. I'm really surprised that they are not going for a faster pick here. They have 10 seconds left on the time pool, and I mean, usually, okay, they go for the Muradin this time. So I suppose there was a bit of a discussion happening between Muradin and the standard Malfurion first pick that they have, but taking the CC tank away from Lost Crowd is probably going to help them there. I mean, this is one of the playmaker heroes for Lost Crowd in all of the recent games that we had there. So, let's see. How is Lost Crowd going to react? They have Malfurion now available. Oh, wow, that's a super early Zeratul. I mean, Zeratul doesn't really shock me. It's just really interesting to see that we have such a high priority on him. Of course, with the talent shifts that we have seen, the playmaker potential on him has been increased by a lot, especially since it's so much earlier. And Zeratul Brightwing is annoying as hell for ganking. This is something that we've seen a lot in the past, especially on Cursed Hollow, because it and the Carrigan. Because it gives you so much potential to actually just like roam the map with Zeratul, jumping with the Brightwing and get a kill. I really like to reference the Zeratul Abathur Brightwing comp, and that was a nightmare to do it with. Average Oddity 86, thank you very much for the sub. Cheers. So yeah, but Carrigan, I haven't really talked about her just yet. So we have a Carrigan. I think this is the first time in this particular tournament now. Medivh ban. Like against TVs, against ADR, the Medivh target ban, like, it doesn't shock me. But yeah, so we have currently the Carrigan. And with Johanna being banned out, I suppose it's likely that Tyrell is going to make an appearance, unless you are trying to rely on Chen again. I'm not really sure if they... I guess they could go Stitches. Yeah, I think they could go Stitches here. So they have a few options. We've seen them play Stitches in the past, and if you have already the Void Prison, you can like go for the Stitches hook, you drop the Void Prison on the rest, isolate the target, take it down, pull him off it real quick with Brightwing so that you get more or less a secured kill. But they decide with the Tyrael, which is like the likelier version. But again, Stitches was an option here for them. So TBD, again, stun into stun. They are currently running that with a Carrigan, and I mean the Carrigan plays that they have on Blade convinced me in the past a lot more than what we've seen with Alarak on the last map, even though I personally believe it was a bit of a bad example. It seemed a bit like they had a rough time in general. But this is, I feel, more into their comfort zone, what they're picking at this point. The Lost Crowd with a very solid draft now, though. I mean, you have a lot of plays here already available to yourself. You can go for Void Prison, can use a Mighty Gust, and use Drew cooldowns on heroic abilities to isolate a target and kill it. For that to happen, you need a little bit more damage, though. So it's likely that they have another another backliner. Jaina would fit very nicely with this, since you could run that Zeratul setup again with Void Prison into Ring of Frost. There's the Abathur, plus an Uther. Not really a hero that we see a whole lot, but if you want to empower a Carrigan, that's how you do it, I suppose. Now the question, of course, do you still pick the Jaina here? Do you go for a Jaina to go for the combo with the Void Prison and the Ring of Frost? It's a lot of blow-up potential, you can make a lot of plays with that, but it's adding another squishy to a setup that is already not very tanky. And if you have a double Carrigan jumping in then later on, or Carrigan and a double Tychus behind it, it's kind of tricky. If that Carrigan with an Abathur gets close enough and survives thanks to something like Soma Transference after 13, you are in for a world of pain. Also consider that Muradin. The stuns that come out of that little dwarf are pretty strong. So how is the crowd going to play it here? They have it's a little bit of a weak setup in the sense of hit points, but it executes so much like damage potential and kill potential, it's scary. And a Zagara is something I didn't see coming at all. Like, I have to admit, for the bot laner, of course, Zagara works nicely here for them, but I did not see a Zagara being picked whatsoever. Like, my first impression is, my first thought was trash pick. My second thought is, yeah, bot lane, okay, I can see what you're trying to do here. You can push the bot lane hard. And who's gonna be going to the bot lane? If Abathur is solo at the bot lane, you're gonna push that lane in hard. If it's gonna be the Carrigan that you're up against, you have to be careful, of course. But then she's gonna miss in the rotation up at the top. So I guess it might work out. I'm not really convinced on the pick, though. I really feel like there were a lot of alternatives that they could have chosen that would have been better. I suppose you don't pick something like this as a last pick if you're not convinced that you have right choice. There's a lot of isolation potential during fights, of course. I mean, we have Maw, we have Zeratul with the Void Prisons. If you really want to go for the team fight style, you have definitely an option to section off opponents. I'm curious to see how that's going to work out for them. Not really the pick that I expected for the last pick, but let's see how it's going to work out. Game number 2, Blackheart's Bay, Lost Crowd going up against the 2Bs determined at the ZOTAC Cup Monthly final. Alright guys, game number 2, and well, we have the Lost Crowd in the lead actually against the 2Bs. So we're currently on the map as you can see, and this is going to be a bit of an interesting match. We have interesting comps here as well. Carrigan played with an Uther against Maxi and Uther subbing in today. We have Blade on Carrigan, the Bees with Nick on Tychus, Bad Benny on Muradin, and ADRD on Abathur. And to the right side, we're seeing Lost Crowd 5 with Lichterloh on Tyrael, Hydra on Zagara, XD on Falstad, Kumiko on Brightwing, and Yellow Flash on the new Zeratul, which is actually pretty sweet. I mean, the talent shifts that Blizzard gave the hero enable him to be a massive playmaker way earlier in the game. We currently have also the Sharp Blades taken on Carrigan. Yeah, we're having a Wave of Light build, and well, Yeah, that just happened. So Falstead flies in, takes the watchtower, and gets wrecked immediately. It allows, I suppose, at this point, Hydra at the bot lane to start pushing this in a little bit harder, since everybody else was up at the top. ADRD knows already that he is going to be hunted by Zeratul quite a bit. Keep in mind that Zeratul has now Warple Blades on level 1, and on level 7 we're already going to see him with the Wormhole, so the playmaker potential for him is going to be pretty huge. And besides that, we have again a bit of a Lightning Shield or Lightning Rod focus taken, as you can see with Wingman. Claimed on level 1 for Falstead, which of course is going to give them a little bit more use as well. But yeah, down here, Bad Benny and Smexy going for Yellow Flash, and I'm actually not sure, but I think Smexy goes in for the stun with his Uther. They might be able to do more than here. Oh, there we go, that's the fly-in. And immediately the stun and the kill against Brightwing. Wow, I think the bees are mad. After that loss and that... Oh, the bees are angry! Oh my god! The game hasn't even started yet and it's 3-0 in kills. I mean, most people didn't even wake up. Some people are just coming back to their screen right now, grabbing a coffee in the kitchen, I don't know, getting something to eat, and they're like, well, let's chill. They come back and they are seeing a 3-0 in kills and they're like, what the hell is happening here? So yeah, Blade is waiting for another chance to jump in, as is. Karrigan definitely much more of a comfort pick for him than Alarak, I would say. But at this point, this is the reckoning. The reckoning is at hand, Tyrael. You're completely right about that. The problem is it's against you. You are not the bringer of justice this time. And, well, there's a turn in potential. Yellow Flash. Be careful, dude. Yes, you are Zeratul. Yes, you have Blink, but be very careful. With all those toxic nests around you here, I would not be too confident going for continuous interrupts. So it's going to be a very, very early turn in for them, which means that they are not going to be able to take the fort down just yet with the cannonballs alone. But a bit of a push should help. One of the ADRD or Blade specials, I should say, since we have again the Psionic Pulse taken here. And yeah, this is another kill. Blade is mad. Blade is really angry. After just barely hitting any combo in the last game with his Alarak, he's now basically just saying like, okay, but I'm going to show you how it's done. And yeah, like they are doing work. Hydra and Yellow Flash at the bot lane are still working the wall though, so they're going to get a couple of structures out of that. And Mirrodin is moving in, and yeah, you know what to tell you, boys, but this is basically a slaughter. This is 5 kills against 0, 3 minutes in, and a 1-level lead already. This is just the bees getting... These are not bees anymore. These are the wasps. Like, they went full aggro. Really full aggro. They got mad after losing the first game. Those are very determined wasps that we're seeing right now. Like, holy cow. 5 versus 0 kills. We have by now Medusa Blades taken using the Volatile Acid on level 1. And so far the draft that we have for the Lost Crowd is not working out just yet. So yeah, Zeratul is starting to at least take a couple of camps here. We have level 7 talents in. That's where the Mule also comes into play. So all of a sudden ADRD has a little bit more sustain, lane sustain I want to say. A bit of a different like twist on the word, but still like his lane has a bit more survivability, whereas Karrigan is just like roaming the map and trying to see if she can get another kill somewhere. Blade is super angry at this point. So yeah, there's a stun and well, there's a Karrigan. Boom! Falstead is down. Wer hat noch nicht, wer will nochmal? Everybody can die today once. There's just like, yeah. The Vicious Acid is now taken too. We have the Reciprocate taken at the bot lane. Hydra is at least trying to just do something. Yellow Flash already losing HP just from the mines and the Toxinets that are being put down everywhere. The full Lightning Rod focus that we have for now. And still, yeah, Karrigan up at the top against the Brightwing. Blade just waiting there for Abathar probably to help out. At the bot lane they're about to take a camp. But yep, there's the jump, there's one. Oh! Nearly hitting that, but Abathar not even helping out, so in this case I don't think he had a lot of kill potential there. Not a lot of mana on Kumiko either. Bot lane pressure, and actually like they are trying to make something happen. So basically after getting wrecked in the complete early game and now being a level behind, they are deciding to make a bit of more aggressive moves. They already went to the bot lane. They took the camp, started to push that in. And let's just face it for a moment. The one thing that's going to be that's being done right now by the red team is they're at least taking structures down. That's important. If you want to make a comeback later on, that's the way you do it. You take structures down without the objective, and then once you get the chance to actually turn in, you're going to get more value out of that. So, yes, they are behind. Yes, they lost the entire early game, and they are still in the process of doing that successfully, by the way, I might add. But they have also the potential to come back into this. 9 coins, 11 coins overall, 9 coins alone on Yellow Flash on the Zeratul. So they can get these turn-ins completed. And yeah, let's see if they can zone before level 10 hits to at least get rid of a few of the coins. Maybe complete an entire turn-in. And in the mid lane, they already destroyed a tower half health, so they are going to kill the entire fort by just getting the turn-in, which means that the mule is not going to get any value in the mid lane itself. At the bot lane, they should confirm the fort being taken down though. For now we have a bit of a team fight happening. Just before 10 is there. Hydra is again trying to turn in. They're zoning them out. Turn-in is going to be completed. That's good. But again, with a mule in play, they need to take this one down. They cannot just simply let that being repaired the entire time. ADRD doesn't see Yellow Flash. That's a kill right there. Okay, he's down, but can Zeratul survive? Nobody there to force him down. Can they drop that fort, though? It doesn't really look like it, to be honest. It's going to be completely muled up again. Uh-oh. And Zeratul is revealed, is trying to be Blade, and goodbye. Oh, maybe not. Nah, he's gonna fall. Yep, that's... Oh, the dodge! Nice! Yellow Flash buying time. Okay, he's dying eventually, but he bought a lot of time. He actually created a lot of space with this. I mean, of course, you want him to survive. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm saying, like, okay, this is better than surviving. But he actually bought a ton of time considering. There was a couple of sweet plays that we just saw there. So, besides that, we have level 10s, of course, now in play. And with that, we have them going into Void Prison. There's a potential second turn-in. Tyrael should maybe be a bit more careful. Oh, dude! Right into the stun. Drops the Sank. Yeah, that is bad right now. He actually survives. Wow. But they need to go back. Wow, he dodges the... Jesus, like, right now they're really toying with fate. I mean, they dodged the combo. They're doing pretty well so far, but they can't prevent that second turn-in. They have to realize that. They already are way too low on the frontliner. Second turn-in is going to happen, and it will destroy the fort at the top lane, or at least get it very low. They themselves did not drop that fort at the bot lane, and actually, considering that Nick is already taking care of the siege camp that is pushing in, it will again not fall, and that mule is going to get value, and a bit of value. So ADRD's choice on 7 is really paying off for itself already as is. If they can push through a few of the structures up to the top lane on the other hand, that would at least help them. Again, the objective has to be get as much of these, many of these structures down as possible without the objective and then start that comeback. And they're not really all that far behind in experience if you consider the... I mean, if you look at the kills and then you think about the gap in experience, you will fairly soon realize that in XP they are not too far behind. It's just a bit of a structural disadvantage that they have at this point. But it was also achieved by dropping a lot of coins by the 2Bs. So, yeah, Lost Crowd is not really out of this just yet. Once again, Bad Benny is there. Okay, so they're pushing them into a wall. Bad Benny is low. Falside is being attacked. Sank is great. Very nice Sank that was being used. And Muradin might be in trouble. Completely whiffs his Stormbolt. Not even close. But down goes Zeratul. The Void Prison is there. They get Bad Benny on the way back. But the Divine Shield is on Kerrigan. And she's taking full... Zagara is down. Yeah, she's completely trying to exploit that. Kerrigan, that is. 10 coins on board. So it's a 2-for-1 trade that we have. Falstad should try and fly down to help out here, because that is Value City, what we're seeing right now. Those two Siege Giants, they are totally worth time invested earlier. And Falstad is actually just going to use his wingman to bribe one of the camps. But he still will have to deal with that. Wall is gone, level 13 on the board. It's an extra talent that we have. In comes Eviscerate for the extra range. Kerrigan, as if she wasn't dangerous enough before that, is now going to be even more fearsome. Here comes the Healing Static. And we've been talking a lot about talent diversity today, and I want to highlight that we have block on Muradin, just to make sure that everybody knows that we had all 3 talents today taken. Again, Zeratul in a bit of trouble. Yeah, but Benny is going a little bit too deep for this one. It's another turn-in though. And we have just way too many turn-ins right now on the side of the blue team. to make this a comfortable play for Lost Cloud 5. They're taking another camp, and that's decent. Bad Benny is moving in there. Maybe they can burst him a bit. Nope. Zagara is too far out, but in comes all of a sudden Zeratul and Tyrael, sanked on the ground as they're trying to chase. The copy is out. 80 Artie is not getting a fair amount of damage in, but is it going to be enough? It doesn't seem like it. He is falling here. The rest of his team is on the retreat. The chase is on. Chests are spawning as Copy is still on cooldown, but the turnaround again. Oh! Against Tyrael! There's the Void Prison actually saving his Smexy under pressure. Sank is not ready anymore. Keep that in mind. The Maw in the background. Kerrigan with the Maelstrom jumping in. Maw didn't really hit too much. Lichterloh! That gust put him into more trouble than he was before. They're trying to jump in. Most of the cooldowns are out, but the combo! Oh, False, that is that. Oh my god. The combo on Cap. Blade is ripping them a new one right now. Up to the top lane. Yeah, that fuel. Can they actually save the fort? That would be... No way. No way. Is he saving the fort? No, that's not going to happen, right? Okay, so the fort falls. The fort finally falls. That would have been a little bit too much if they would have even saved that. At the bot lane, we actually have even more doing. So, yep, there we have another siege camp. I mean, they should be able to save it before it falls. The wave is pushing in, but there's already heroes on their way. And I guess if Abathur is able to shield it again, that would be worth quite a lot. But they need structures now. They are way too far behind right now. Yeah, they're gonna save it. Okay, so to save it at this point, job well done so far. So the Mule is gonna get value again. Great play by the Bees. I mean, especially Blade, we have to highlight him at this point. He is doing work on his character. And this is desperation what we're seeing here. This is basically, guys, we're so far behind, we're losing the game anyways. Let's go for a risky play. If it works, we might have a chance. If it doesn't work, then yeah, we haven't really lost anything. Brightwing was at the top lane showing here. But this is 16 versus 14. They didn't get the boss. They're desperate. They really know that there's very little to do. The problem on this map is if you're so far behind that you can't take fights, you give up the objective. And the objective alone will take you out. They haven't really lost too much yet when it comes to like keeps. They haven't even lost a keep, let's just face it. So that works in their favor. And with only one turn-in, they were able to more or less eliminate most of the structures, except for the fort at the bot lane, and they're currently getting that. So they're really attempting to take that down. So they are not completely out of the game yet, but they need to win a team fight. If they win a team fight, they have actually a lot of potential of making a comeback happen. It's just becoming less and less likely as the game progresses, since they fall farther and farther behind. But they get at least the keep for now. Sorry, the fort. They can push down this wave a little bit more with that camp maybe. But they have to defend, of course, the boss. And that's going to be the first objective. A turnip would be great for them. Yeah, Yellow Flash Nix, they are there. So a turnip would be great. If they can make that work, then they will also threaten a keep. Again, their turn-ins are much, much cheaper. That's the one thing that you have to remember. The turn-ins for them are much cheaper, and therefore they're getting good value out of it. So they will pressure the mid lane, but they're not going to get a keep. And that's, and again, the problem. With them not getting the keep, but probably damaging it, a lot of the damage is going to be healed out by Abathur with his Mule. Boss up at the top is not going to get too much. Zeratul is still double-checking what's happening here, but Benny is helping with the clear on the camp. But Abathur is already in position, dropping the Mule as soon as he can. As you see, there's not a whole lot of damage done. So, yeah, right now, they're actually lucky since only one of the cannonballs is going to hit the keep. So, didn't kill the tower. It's a bit unfortunate. But yeah. So, Mule is going to be dropped here. It's going to get the value. The fight at the bot lane, this is one they have to win. 16 is there. It's 16 versus 16. This is the fight. This is the fight where you can make a comeback. Either you take it now and you win, or you are starting to just like slowly and steadily lose the game here. So they are actually taking the position. Again, a lot of pressure on Tyrael. Being the only frontliner is not the best. Nice zoning here. More as well. They go for Benny. This is a decent setup that they all of a sudden have. More and Void Prison is out at the same time, and it turns around. They don't get the kill. They isolate targets like Muradin. They are trying to zone the opponent out, but then they don't confirm the kill. Maw and Void Prison come back at the same time, and 5-man collapse onto them. Drop their heroics. It's a 5-man wipe, and this is going to most likely conclude the game. Yeah, Zeratul is going to fall now as well, and this is us heading into a third game. Excellent match played on the side of the Bees. Very well done by them. Much better control that we saw this time than what happened on Infernal Shrines. Blade with exceptional Kerrigan play, especially in the early game. Nice attempts on the side of the Lost Crowd, but overall just too dominant what the Bees showed here. This is more what we expected heading into the series. And yeah, we're gonna get a third map, so let's jump straight into game number 3 at the ZOTAC Monthly Final. It's the day of third games, like we have our third best of 3, and guess what? Again, we are heading into a third map. Arlane O, thank you very much for the sub, as we are heading into Tomb of the Spider Queen, where the Lost Crowd ban out Malfurion, and it's an immediate ban on Tacita. Okay, so that could put us into a position where we are going to see a little bit of Zeratul play again.
Your loyalty.
And we have both of the CTC tanks available. Let's not forget about that as well. Basknos, thank you very much for the resubs, my friend. Nearly a year now, 11. Cheers, bro. It's appreciated. But let's look at this draft. It's a grand final. I mean, like, this is the best of 3. It's the last map. Once again, it comes down to the last map, and it's Tomb of the Spider Queen. And Lost Crowd, first pick. Are we going to see one of the CC tanks, or are they actually... Yes, it is. Okay, so it's the ETC. They're not going to risk anything here with a different hero. And I'm so curious to see what's going to happen here, because we can see potentially Medivh being played by the Bees. We have seen Karrigan placed by Blade on the last game, which were absolutely exceptional, and he can play the Karrigan again. It's likely that they're going to go into a Muradin. That would be a very solid pick for them here, considering that ETC has already been picked up. We have, of course, a couple of other picks that you go... Okay, they go for the Johanna, which has the wave clear over the Muradin. It's not quite as tanky necessarily as he is, and doesn't quite offer the same amount of CC, but has the wave clear. So if the Bees are starting to go into something like this, they might add into a more push-heavy
Thanks for the entertainment. It's keeping me motivated through my night shift at university, finishing a report. Keep it up.
Been there, my friend. Thanks for the support, and I can only recommend one thing: coffee. Lots and lots of coffee. But yeah, I remember those times, and I'm happy they're gone. So yeah, power through, and it will be worth it in the end, I promise you that much. But yeah, get that coffee machine going.
Your loyalty is noted.
Insane Brood, thanks for the sub, as we're waiting for TBD to finally drop that second pick here. I mean, they took their sweet time already on the first one. Johanna plus what? I mean, what are you going to pick here right now? We have seen, of course, a lot of Sylvanas play that you can do. You can still go for Zul rotations if you desire. Gul'dan has seen a high priority on the map, depending on when exactly you want to pick him. We have seen Zeratul having huge effects on game as well, even though with this setup I already think that's not in the likeliest pick for them to be played. But yeah, let's see how that is now going to work out for them, because it is a lot. Wave clear. Again, a lot of wave play here. Now, we're talking oftentimes rotations on this map, and if you have an ETC and still the option to go into even a Muradin, if you want to play double tank, you have a lot of control over those rotations. You need to think about your solo laner, of course, which is usually at the bot lane. We've talked a lot about Thrall today, since after the last patch, Earthquake has become a viable ult, and we have seen it several times already. Not necessarily that you have to pick him here. We have seen Karrigans and Alaraks on this map, especially, of course, by the Bees, but the Lost Crowd could try and combo something off with ETC on that stun. And we already have an Oriel. And, of course, for Oriel, Li Ming would maybe be a good additional pick, since that combo works quite nicely and you generate a lot of energy. Li Ming also very good for the interrupts on the map in particular, so that helps. But wave clear is definitely something that they need to highlight. If they don't do that, they might have a bit of a problem if TBD specs more into wave clear heroes. But first of all, it's a Tychus, which is definitely, it's never really a bad pick. So let's... the bans right now are going to be really crucial. I mean, at this point, what do you ban out? If you're TBD and you're not really looking at picking up Li Ming, you can ban her, I suppose. You have to, of course, question how likely it is that your opponent is going to go into a Muradin plus ETC. That is a very heavy front line. with a lot of control. So do you ban that? Nope, you ban the solo laner. Okay, so they ban the solo laner. They don't want to go up against the Thrall again. Earthquake is really solid right now, and if you go Earthquake, maybe even with Stage Dive, but it's already with just the drill alone, not anything that you usually want to get away from as fast as possible, Commandeer Odin Fall means, then you have, of course, a bit of an issue. So that's one of the reasons why Thrall is banned out. Like, Earthquake changes the game a little bit, or the meta, the way that the comps are working, and also is a stronger solo laner, and on this map you're trying to get rid of that. So, one solo laner banned out. Sylvanas is still available, our Snowball hero. Brightwing being banned off first. Okay, so Oriel already taken, Brightwing banned out. We've seen an Uther in the last game in the combo with Kerrigan, which is still on the board and available, and could be played here, for sure. So, we've seen Alarax on the bot lane as well, which could be taken too. And I'm not quite sure if we're going to see that Uther again, but Smexy could definitely play it. Another hero, of course, to consider is not only Rhaegar, but you can also play a Morales. It depends a little bit on what your opponent is going to run. You would go for a rather later pick on that. And with Lunara, we already have a bit of a poke battle starting. I mean, Lunara can also... Okay. Lunara is actually is a pick that I haven't really seen in quite some time. Of course, we all remember the amazing Fnatic games that they played, especially at DreamHack Valencia, with Lunara on this map. But we haven't really seen her as much just lately. So, yeah, let's see. Lunara and Avala already, so a lot of poke happening. Making also the life of Oriel a little bit more annoying. But I suppose ETC with Proc Rock could help out here. And there's the Alarak. Okay. So Alarak, I mean, that was kind of expected, I suppose. We've seen Blade play either Kerrigan or Alarak. It's one of the two, I feel. I don't really think that they would have gone for anything else on his part. But with the support, they might actually look at a Morales here. I feel it depends highly on what Lost Crowd is going to pick right now. They have all the options at this point. I mean, we have seen them with a variety of picks in this case. Keep that Gul'dan in mind when we're talking Lost Crowd. They could still think about dropping a Gul'dan here. Even though they have to be very careful with the positioning then. If he starts to get slowed down and Alarak gets grabs on him, then he is going to be in trouble. And Gul'dan might have a problem here in the long run. So I'm not quite sure if that would really be the safest pick for them. I like the Kalthas. Kalthas is actually a hero that he is underrated right now, I feel. So I really think it's a good pick for them. He's great on the map, he always was. He has the combo with ETC where you can just slide and go into the gravity labs. And just in general, if you can keep him alive until he has his Flame Strike quest completed, the damage output that he brings to the table is very solid. Hell of the Decrepit. Thank you, bro. Cheers, buddy. And yeah, so I like that pick for sure, but they need something else at the front line. And the only question is really just, do you simply drop Muradin? I mean, you can still go for, I suppose, Zul if you feel you need additional wave clear, but overall, Muradin is one of the heroes that you can definitely play. Looking at the entire setup, I mean, what else do they have that would really make a whole lot of sense for them right now? I really feel it's one or the other. Who do you have at the bot lane, on the other hand, though? So you have to consider that too. I mean, I suppose one of the range damage dealers will have to take care of that for now, unless they pick someone who is more suited for it. I guess a Chen could be picked up, but they go for Leoric. I'm actually wondering what I would prefer here, a Chen or Leoric. I think personally I would have actually preferred the Chen. Leoric is good on this map though. Like, he has decent wave clear, he can within a tomb. Yeah, it's a bit of a question of which of the heroics you go for. I think we'll see how that works. I mean, if Leoric is actually able to just like lock someone down, there's Morales. I mean, we talked about that. I can totally see her in here. If Leoric gets a good entomb off against someone like Morales and Vala, I suppose then they have a really good shot. They can just like lock everybody down, jump on it with a stage dive. They have Phoenix. They can just like drop all of the damage of Kalthas. So let's see how much value that Leoric actually gets them. But this is the map that it comes down to. Tomb of the Spider Queen. So guys, let's just move in and see which team is going to win the grand final. Game number 3, everybody. As you can see, we have the Lost Crowd 5 going up against the 2Bs Determined. To the left side of the map, Lichterloh for the crowd with ETC, Yellow Flash on Tychus, Hydra on Leoric, Kumiko on Oriel, and Ixte on Khaldor. And well, to the right side of the map, as you can see, is once again the Bees with a bit of a... Yeah, they came back with a vengeance on map 2. It's Blade on Alarak, Nick on Vala, Bad Benny on Johanna, Smexy on Moraleth, and ADRD is playing Lunara. Alright, so we are in for a bit of a treat, I suppose. Every single game that we had so far happening today ended up with a third map. Block Party taken on level 1 for ETC. Now, I'm not 100% certain if that surprises me or not. To be actually honest, I expected him to go into Prog Rock. Block Party, yes, makes sense, because you have a lot of auto attackers against you, so that helps ETC to survive at the front line. At the same time, this is a great map to stack for Prog Rock, and if you have a Lunara against you, it helps. So I guess both of the talents, there's definitely arguments to be made in their favor, but he is more afraid of all that auto attack damage against himself, and I suppose the rest of his team. So yeah, Block Party definitely gets a lot of value with all the auto attacking that they have here. But let's see how that's going to work out for them. So right now, the only question is basically, are the heals enough, yes or no? And Kumiko will just have to do that. Already the slide and the attack against Blades, Maxi far in the back, making sure that he is just able to heal everybody up here. On level 1, we have of course Trauma Trigger for him. Again, we're seeing the applied force for Alaric. And we have also the Regeneration Master taken on the side of Johanna in this game. And the Convection for Khaldor. So Burnt Flesh, and this is like one of the key things. How much can he stack? Will he be killed at some point, or can he really survive, complete the stacking process, and then just completely wreak havoc? Ixte is going to be one of the crucial players and heroes in this game, and that's also one of the reasons why he's going to be part of the rotation here, obviously. Wants to get those stacks in. Nick just like dropping a bit of damage, as we are seeing occasionally a bit of a move down to the bot lane to see if they can maybe get a lucky kill off somewhere. So Hydra and Flash already there, ADRD with a bit of the heals is happening there too. Just like hopping around with Bambi and trying to get a shot in or two. So Lunara doing their thing. Okay, so at this map, again, usually you have a bot lane one-on-one, and at the same time a rotation with the rest of the team moving between the mid and the top lane. This is already a little bit different, since Bad Benny and his boys are doing a fairly decent job here, getting those stacked up. Now Hydra, oh, they are running, they are trying to go for ADRD, and he's actually dodging everything. Wow, look at Lunara. I really thought we could see first blood here, but not quite. Now Lichterloh is getting poked a little bit. Both of the teams sitting level 4 at the same time. This is all about the poke battle. If you're playing with a Lunara, you really want to try and draw this out. And the only question is really how much can actually Oriel help with the heals here. Once again, just like poking away, ADRD getting a little bit of damage in, making sure that everybody is already on the run. So they get a dominant position over the turning point, at least for now. Could turn in with Bad Benny. It was close call though, since Lichterloh was already looking for an interrupt. We're seeing the fealty onto death after the hopelessness on the side of Leoric. So already adjusting a bit to the map here. It's one of the talents that we mainly exclusively see here. Lichterloh is able to also turn in, even though there's 2 heroes around him at the time. And yeah, is getting a bit of damage, of course, like thrown in by ADRD, but overall, decent job. 4 stacks already on the side of Ixte. Down here, on the other hand, ADRD still poking, using the Wisp, of course, to get decent vision. Yellow Flash in trouble, and that is his demise. He's down, Blade gets away, and they're actually trying to see if they can maybe even pick off another kill. But the first blood goes to the Bees. So the Bees, are they going to turn into Wasps once again? We're starting to poke against Kumiko himself, and it's actually starting to become a little bit annoying for Oriel, as you can see, to heal the damage out. It's just like really that tickle-in damage that we have with the poison of Lunara. And XD down at the bot lane still is 4 stacks, needs to be very cautious. He can't really move out, or he is going to be attacked fairly early. So right now, the poke is happening. The turn-in spots under the control of the Bees, and they are going to aim for the first turn-in, the first Web Weaver set, so that they have a bit of a push happening, and this is what's going to happen, especially in the mid lane, where we don't have ammunition left anymore. So they are going to try and get some value out of this, already poking up at Hydra. Of course, Leoric is going to be back super soon, super early after that death, but he loses the gems still, and that's something they cannot afford this early. If you get these losses and you lose 25 gems right now, your opponent has an easy time snowballing it against you. One of the prime targets again is of course Khaldor, no doubt about it. Both of the teams on level 7. Khaldor starting to spread the damage there again with the bombs, of course. Burnt flesh on 7, no surprise there. Also additional damage with the Echo Paddle. And we have right now the Splinter Spear taken, trying to spread the love out a little bit more. And Vala is going to help with that, thanks to, of course, the multi-shot. Oh, Lichtalo in trouble! And that's where, again, Kumiko has to be very careful, because it's not only ETC, it's also, yep, Leoric, who is likely to fall here, but gets healed in the last moment. The problem is it's free damage on the fort as everybody is retreating. And in the meantime, the Web Weaver at the top lane is still poking away quite happily and taking structures down there as well. Getting a fort with the first Web Weaver wave is an absolute dream, so it couldn't really get much better than that. And they're already on their way up to the top lane to at least secure the 2 towers and destroy them too. So that is starting to really look a little bit not really also healthy for the team in blue. The Lost Boys, the Lost crowd is actually starting to really struggle here. They also lost the Fountain at the top lane, which is taking a lot of the lane sustain away from them. So Kumiko has, he has his hands full with the damage output that we're seeing, not only from Lunara, of course. I mean, it's not only her, but ADRD is very annoying, and Nick from the backline has so much space that he can just do whatever he wants. Drops the entire time. Damage in, 8 stacks by now on the side of Khaldor. So at least he's getting closer and closer, but just not close enough to be really comfortable with this. And Lunara is just hopping around at the bot lane. No care in the world, but should probably start to care a little bit more. ADRD is toying with his life the entire time here. I mean, like, these gravity lapses are so close to connecting, but now Blade is there too. And yep, this could be the... Oh my god. Khaldor is down, and this is atrocious for them. This is 8 stacks that just have been reset, and level 10 has now been dropped too. And of course we're also seeing the Leaping Strike right now, since there's still a big likelihood that Hydra is going to aim for Entomb and tries to get that. Entomb is the most likely choice for him at this point. Counter-Strike is being picked up, we have the Medivac, also the Blessed Shield, and for Vala it is the Haunted Wave, the Wave of Angels. Not Sylvanas hybrid just yet. That's a 2-level lead on a map like Haunted Mines, and another turn-in, if they want it, for the red team, with level 10s that they now have. Are they wow. Like, they are really looking for some pressure, aren't they? They go for boss. They're still poking around, trying to prevent the turn-in, which they succeed in doing with a 3 versus 5. They're looking for the turn-in right now down here too, but the boss is about to be taken. They're going to get that boss for sure. They're probably not able to prevent the turn-in, but that's going to be a boss pushing through the top lane. Yep, blue Web Weavers are there. We of course see that the boss is being taken right now, but guess what? It's already too late. So that's a boss pushing through that top lane and getting value there, whereas the rest of the team is just huddling in the middle of the map, trying to make a play there. Stage dive, by the way, Commandeer Odin. We have Entomb, Crystal Aegis, and Phoenix. And yeah, that boss is already guaranteeing that the Web Weaver at the top lane is not going to do anything. The wave is already pushed back, so that means it's starting all the way to the left. The fort is going to fall toward the boss one way or another. They're just defending down here. This is a really nice setup for ADRD's team. The Bees are doing well. There's Commandeer Odin. Oh, nice! The kill against ETC. That's not how they envisioned this, but they get a double kill regardless against Vala and against Johanna. So that worked. The boss, on the other hand, is still pushing up at the top, which is a bit of an issue. And at least for now, the Lost Crowd is starting to apply the pressure. They're going through the mid lane. They drop 1 of the forts, but they've already lost 2 of them. And ADRD needs to be very careful, once again, that he doesn't overstay his welcome at the bot lane. He's still attempting to take down the Web Weavers here, but the pressure is there. 5 stacks currently on Khaldor. Far, far away from getting that quest talent completed, obviously. Yeah, but they might be able just barely to get that fort, and they are about to, but Hydra falls. The gems are going to be picked up, though. So that's at least something. Up to the top lane, the wall has been breached, and it's level 13 talents now against only level 10s. So we still have the Bees in the lead, but that double kill that actually secured a pretty decent position here still for the blue team. They've lost a fair amount of structures, don't get me wrong. They already lost quite a lot and they're still behind, but they will be fighting on even talents in just a moment, and they have the potential for a second turn, and both of these teams do now. So both of them can accomplish that, and the zoning is already about to start. 80 Artie is trying to get that done, and yes, they will complete it. They have heroes on both of the turning points, and that's another red web weaver wave, and let's see how much damage they can actually do with that. It's the last game in the best of 3 series. 13 talents are in. Lunara hasn't picked yet. Still thinking about that. Greater Spell Shield an option. Pyromaniac taken. Spray and Pray here on the other hand. Lunara without a talent, but we have a Spell Shield taken for Morales. The engagement on Hydra again. He's looking for that Entomb, of course, but you don't want to die before the Web Weavers are even down here. But Benny at the front. The positioning is everything right now once more. It's absolute key. 80 Artie with a poke. Slowly and steadily. 10 stacks on the Flame Strike. Bot lane fort is going to fall. That's not a question. That is definitely going to happen. Just a simple fact. But where are those Entombs? Defense in the mid lane is going to be the most important part, because bot lane can't be saved. Top lane is not going to be endangered anytime soon. It's all about the mid lane right now. And so far they didn't get value, but the combo on Analog. And down goes Tigers. And they might get kill number 2 now. They go for Hydra. And goodbye Leoric. ETC jumps in. 80 Artie with an epic strike, but he dies regardless. Can they drop Lichterloh though? Yes, they can. And that is 3 kills for 1. Well played, and they can break through that wall. The top lane is still pushing. Shouldn't really get too much damage against the keep, but it will take a few of the hit points off. And of course, in experience, they're taking a massive advantage now. 16 has been picked up, and that's the extra talent right there. The top lane pressure is dropping the fountain, and with 2 the waves pushing in with the Web Weavers, they are also able to drop a lot of hit points off that keep. Way more than I thought, actually. Wow. That is very, very scary right now for the Lost Crowd. Like, really scary. I mean, at this point, they have a bit of a problem. Waves are going to be taken down here. Of course, at this point, you know that your opponent's going to go for the camp, so like you can prevent it. You have the 16 talents not taken. The Frost Shot is going to give you more utility, so that's going to help a lot. And let's see how they can deal with potentially even the boss being picked up later again. It's a 50-second cooldown currently on the camp. They're talking camps. They're actually trying to invade here. Alright, Containment Strike already used, but they had to back off. 80 Artie can use the Wisp again. It's doing that. Starts to check out what's happening here. Hydra's in position. Moves it in, sees Leoric. Alright, that was an important one. That could have backfired if he drops a good Entomb. And they're fighting over the camp. It's level 16 talents, 14 stacks only on the Flame Strike. They're starting with it. Oh wow, even committing the cooldown here. Now that's a commitment. They're trying to zone them out, but that's not going to last for very much longer. And that Benny can always move on the point. Even dropping Commandeer Odin, they really want that camp. Wow. So they have Commandeer Odin dropped, and also the Phoenix. That is really the moment where you can start to go for a bit of a fight again. They actually might go boss. Huh. They actually do. Like, they are seriously just saying, like, guys, 2 of the cooldowns are down. 2 of the damage cooldowns have been used. Let's go boss again. And they are aware that this is going to be 16 versus 16. Bad Benny is already here in the middle, is starting to move back. Alright, gets stunned once. Can maybe move back. They know that the boss is about to be taken. Great play from the blue team. That Attainment Strike was absolutely awesome. Boss is taken. ETC jumped in. That was so close. ETC could have nearly made that play. That would have been amazing. If he would have jumped in before Johanna dies, if you would have just waited a moment, just jumps in, he would have like most likely died to the rest of the team though. But yeah, that was kind of crazy. So, I mean, let's see how that top lane is going to go. Yeah. Alright, let's be honest, that's not going to survive. So the keep is down at the top lane. We're 14 minutes in. The Web Weavers are not going to break through the wall at the top. The mid lane Web Weavers have already been defeated. And the bot lane Web Weavers, that was... Like, these aggressive boss takes that we have here are incredibly risky, but in this game they're actually working for them. And I suppose you can always argue that they had 2 cooldowns that, okay, they were risky in the sense that your opponent can force the fight, but you know that 2 cooldowns are already triggered. Losing Johanna was, of course, not really part of the plan, and ETC with an earlier stage dive might have been able to just destroy those plans a bit if the rest of the team follows up in time. But overall, this was still working out nicely, so it wasn't really incredibly risky, but it was definitely something where they took a calculated risk. Bad Benny in here again, immediately going for ETC, by the way. Again, the cooldowns have been used as is. Okay, ADRD has, like, that guy has a pair, yeah, like, what? Is about to die, more or less, jumps in and out again and is actually able to survive. Also thanks to Smexy with the heals here on Morales. Now they're starting to chase, and we all know what happens when Lunara starts to chase. You usually grab 1 target at least. Yep, and slow is all they need for now. 1 hit, and yep, there we go. Getting 1 in, the Aegis has been dropped, and they force the fight. Yellow Flash is about to fall, gets healed, but now the rest of the team has caught up, and that's the first kill. That's the second. Oh my god, it's a triple kill. Oriel, Leoric, and Tychus are all down. That's the slow against Khaldor. Yeah, thankfully has his quest talent completed, but they are going Morales top lane. They want to end the game. They have the medivac, they're using it. ETC, is he gonna survive that even? I highly doubt it, because the combo hits him full on. Lisalo moves back, but even if he survives, which he doesn't, he couldn't change the outcome anymore. This is gonna be a sweep. We are having 12 kills against 4, and the Bees are claiming 2 wins in a row. They take the game, they take the series, they take the tournament. The 2 Bees determined win the ZOTAC Cup Monthly Final. Congratulations.